In this video, I want to share with you my Nikon D3500 settings for video. So we start with the shooting menu. And in the shooting menu, my image quality is set to RAW. ISO sensitivity, I change it depending on the lighting conditions of the location I am shooting. Auto white balance works fine for me. Now in picture control, I choose my setting here depending on the outcome I want to achieve. If I don't want to do much of editing, I set it to standard. And my neutral, instead of using the neutral, I edited with a flat profile, whereby I changed the settings here to have settings that gave me the most flat picture I could have. And my settings here are as follows. Sharpening is set to 0.00. Clarity is boosted to +5. Contrast -3. Brightness -1.54. Saturation -3. And hue is set to -3. When I use this flat profile, let me show you a sample of the kind of video I get with this flat profile. I will show you before and after editing. So the color space is sRGB. Active derating is on. Active derating improves the level of detail in highlight and shadow areas under high contrast conditions, just as it says here. Noise reduction, I will do noise reduction while editing the video, so I have set it to off. Vignette control, I have set it to on so that it can correct the dark edges. Auto distortion is set to 1. Focus mode, this one also keeps changing. I change it depending on what I want to shoot. A video mode also, I select it depending on what I want to shoot. Built-in illuminate assist, that one does not apply in video. Metering, I have set it to matrix. Now when you go to movie settings themselves, the frame rate, most of the times I shoot at 1920 1080 24p, and sometimes I also use the 60p when I want to slow down the videos. For instance, when I am doing those close-up images whereby I want to slow down the video to create a look like I was using a slider, I set it to 1920 1080 60p, then I slow down the video in post. Then I slow down the video in post. But for now, let me set it to 1920 1080 24. Movie quality, I've set it to high. High movie quality. Microphone, the internal microphone on this camera does not pick audio the way I want it to. So I find other ways of recording audio whenever I am using this camera to record video. Wind noise reduction is set on anyways. So whatever audio I record with this camera, I still have wind reduction set to 1. Many movie settings I have also set them to on so that I can adjust what I want to adjust. And now let me show you what I do. So the first thing is to set the exposure, and my setting is 1/15 because I use 24 frames per second. Then I'll get the image to be correctly exposed by setting it to 0. In this case, I will change the aperture to f4.5. Then I go to review, and this is where I set my focus point. When I press the I button, so this is where if I am tracking a subject, I can set it to full time software. When I am doing landscape videos, I set it to single software whereby I focus on a range area. And sometimes when I don't want the focus to keep flickering, I set it to manual focus. So let me set it to AF single, then I go to AF video mode. So when I am tracking a subject, this is what I use, the subject tracking mode. When I am in front of the camera like this, I set it to face priority, whereby when my face comes into frame, the camera will give my face first priority and keep focusing on my face. Wide area, I use this when I am recording outdoor, when I want to have so many things in focus. I set it to wide area. So I actually don't use this normal mode most of the times because when I am recording or when I am focusing on small areas, I like using manual focus so that I can have the exact thing I want to be fully in focus. So I normally don't use normal area AF. So most times I use face or wide area. So those are my settings for video, and now I want to share with you a few video clips that I have made with these settings, and you can get to see the kind of results you will get with these settings.
JM Photography KE Image Mix.